Sometimes life throws things at you that make it hard to believe in anything good. Disappointment, failure, betrayal, and fear. These are the shadows that try to cover your light. But here's the truth most people overlook. Your reality bends to the beliefs you hold deep within. When you begin to act as if everything always works out for you, you're not pretending, you're programming. You're shifting your energy from fear to faith, from chaos to clarity. You are training your mind to expect blessings, not burdens. And when that switch happens, your actions follow. Your presence changes. You move differently, you breathe differently. And the world responds. Not because magic suddenly appears, but because your belief changes the way you interact with the world, and in turn, the world changes the way it interacts with you. Every successful person you admire didn't start out feeling powerful. They started with uncertainty, just like you. But somewhere along the line, they made a decision to believe in something greater than their fear, to walk like they already had what they were chasing, to talk like the deal was already signed, to carry themselves like their future was unfolding exactly as it should. That mindset doesn't come from fantasy. It comes from choosing to live in alignment with what you desire, not what you fear. Acting as if everything always works out isn't delusion. It's vision. You're not ignoring your problems. You're facing them with a different energy. One that says, no matter what, I rise. The universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to certainty. And when you carry yourself with the energy of someone who knows it's all working out, even when it doesn't look like it, it's like a magnet. Opportunities come. People shift. Doors open. But this doesn't happen because you forced it. It happens because your energy becomes undeniable. It's not about arrogance, it's about assurance. Not because you know every detail, but because you trust the bigger picture. You're not begging life to be good to you. You're walking as if life already is. And that changes everything. Let's be real, this isn't easy. Acting as if everything works out feels almost impossible when you're in the middle of the storm. When bills pile up, when relationships crumble, when health declines, how do you pretend it's okay? The secret is, you don't pretend it's okay. You acknowledge the pain, but you also choose not to be consumed by it. You say, this is hard, but I trust there's something greater happening behind the scenes. You start aligning your thoughts and actions with that outcome. That's not denial, that's power. That's ownership of your reality. That's you stepping into the driver's seat. You see, most people wait until they feel successful before they act successful. They wait until they feel confident before they speak confidently. They wait until life gives them a reason to believe. But what if your belief was the very thing life was waiting on? What if the moment you started acting like it's all working in your favor, life finally caught up with your energy? You are a co-creator of your reality. When you walk with faith instead of fear, you shift timelines, you change outcomes, you create pathways where there were none before. That's the power of your inner belief system. Think about the person you want to be, the version of you who already has peace, success, freedom, love. How do they walk? How do they think? How do they speak to themselves? Now ask yourself, what's stopping you from embodying that energy today? The answer is nothing but your own permission. Acting as if isn't pretending to be someone else. It's remembering who you already are underneath the doubt, underneath the fear. It's pulling your future into your present. When you operate from that space, miracles are no longer surprises, they're confirmations. This mindset builds resilience because when you believe things are always working out, even setbacks become setups. You stop seeing failure as an end and start viewing it as a redirection. That's when real power kicks in. You don't crumble at rejection, you realign. In uncertainty, you ground yourself in the vision. Your emotions no longer run the show. You do, because you know the truth. This moment is not your final destination. It's just part of the journey that leads to everything you've been asking for. When you act as if everything always works out, people notice. They may not understand it, but they feel it. Your energy becomes steady, calm, unshakable. That doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means fear doesn't lead your actions anymore. You've trained your nervous system to respond with grace instead of panic. You've trained your mind to look for possibilities instead of problems. And the people around you feel safer in your presence. You become a lighthouse in the storm. That kind of energy is rare and powerful. What if instead of asking a what if it goes wrong, you started asking a what if it goes right? That one question changes your posture, your breath, your tone. It brings light into dark moments. It shifts your decisions from desperation to intention. Most people never taste the life they truly want because they keep planning for the worst instead of preparing for the best. But not you. You are different now. You are choosing a new lens. You are training your brain to expect divine timing, not constant chaos. That shift alone opens doors your old mindset would have never even seen. You'll notice the way people treat you changes when you act like you're already valuable. Because the world reflects the belief you hold about yourself. If you believe you're overlooked, you'll act small, and people will mirror that. But if you believe your presence matters, even before anyone else sees it, you'll carry yourself with dignity. You'll speak with clarity. You'll attract people, places, and experiences that match your vibration. You won't need to chase what's meant for you. It will find you, because your energy already claims it. You don't fake confidence, you cultivate it. Every time you act as if things are working out, even in chaos, you are building emotional muscle. You are creating proof in your nervous system that you can walk through fire and not burn. That you can sit in uncertainty and still breathe. That you can face fear and still move forward. That's how warriors are born, not by never feeling fear, but by never letting fear decide their fate. You become untouchable not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the obsession with when and how. When you act as if it's already done, you stop micromanaging the universe. You surrender the outcome and focus on the energy. That's when the real magic happens. Your job is not to know every detail. Your job is to hold the vision, do the work, and trust the unfolding. Timing isn't your enemy, it's your ally. The delay isn't denial, it's preparation. And every second you stay in faith is a second you move closer to the life that's meant for you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the author of your story. And every time you choose to act in alignment with the life you desire, rather than the fear you feel, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself approval. You stop replaying past pain and start writing new chapters. When you act as if everything always works out, even your failures become part of the plot twist that leads to your breakthrough. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence in your belief. Start small. Act as if your next move is guided. Act as if the people who left you did so to make space for better. Act as if every delay is divine. That kind of thinking doesn't make you naive. It makes you powerful. Because now you're not reacting, you're responding. You're not shrinking, you're expanding, and the world around you begins to respond differently too. Life is always listening. The question is, what story are you telling with your energy, your thoughts, and your actions? This is more than mindset, it's identity. When you consistently act as if things always work out for you, you become that person. You become the one who finds the way, even when others get stuck. You become the one who sees hope in the dark. You become the one who inspires others to believe in themselves. That's the kind of energy that can't be faked. It's earned. It's felt. And once you embody it, there's no going back. You're no longer waiting for life to be kind. You're living like it already is. There is something magnetic about someone who carries unshakable faith in the midst of uncertainty. When you walk into a room with calmness and confidence, people can feel that you are tapped into something deeper. You're no longer trying to prove your worth. You know your worth. You're no longer forcing outcomes. You're allowing alignment. When people ask how you stay so grounded, so positive, so unwavering, you smile. Not because everything is perfect, but because you've learned how to stay powerful even when things aren't. Not luck, that's leadership of the self. You must remember, fear will always scream louder than faith in the beginning. It's wired into our survival, but that doesn't mean it's truth. Fear says, you protect yourself at all costs. Faith says, trust yourself at all costs. The more you lean into faith, the more courage becomes your default. And the more courageous you become, the less power fear holds over you. When you act as if things are always working out, you're starving fear of attention. You're choosing belief over panic, and eventually, that belief becomes a lifestyle. When your energy is rooted in faith, people will misunderstand you. They'll think you're unrealistic, too hopeful, maybe even arrogant, but that's only because they've never seen someone refuse to bow down to fear. Don't take it personally. Your job is not to be understood. Your job is to stay aligned. The ones who get it, and the ones who don't, they're not your audience right now. Keep walking with vision. Keep leading with faith. Your journey is not a debate. It's a declaration of what's possible when you believe in the unseen. You will notice that when you truly commit to acting as if life works in your favor, tests will show up. Situations will arise to challenge your faith. That's not life punishing you. That's life preparing you. The universe wants to know, will you fold when it looks like it's not working? Or will you stand tall, stay grounded, and keep your energy aligned with your vision? Most people give up in this moment. But if you can hold the line, if you can keep your energy elevated through the storm, you will rise into a life most only dream of. There's nothing fake about acting as if. In fact, it's the most authentic thing you can do. Because you're not acting according to your current struggle, you're acting according to your highest truth. That truth says, I am capable, I am chosen, I am guided, I am worthy. When you live from that place, you stop settling. You stop playing small. You start making moves that align with your future, not your past. And suddenly, your external reality starts catching up with your internal belief. People ask, what if I act as if and nothing changes? But here's the real question. What if everything changes because you finally did? You're not doing this for instant results. You're doing this to become someone who cannot be shaken by delay, rejection, or uncertainty. You're doing this to live with peace regardless of circumstances. That's a level of freedom few ever reach. But you will, because you're not chasing outcomes, you're embodying alignment. And that's the kind of transformation that lasts. Start showing up like the version of you that already succeeded. That version doesn't second-guess every decision. That version doesn't beg for validation. That version trusts the process, speaks life into every moment, and expects favor. If you keep showing up like that version, day after day, the gap between who you are and who you're becoming disappears. You collapse timelines, you dissolve resistance, and life begins to meet you where you already are, energetically, mentally, and spiritually. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to trust that even imperfection is part of the plan. That detour? It's divine. That rejection? It's redirection. That pause? It's protection. When you act as if things are always working out, you find meaning in the madness. You don't fight life, you flow with it. And that flow leads you to places hustle never could. Grace becomes your guide, ease becomes your power, and joy returns, not because of what's happening outside, but because of what's happening within. You'll find yourself worrying less. Not because there's nothing to worry about, but because worry is no longer your habit. You've trained your mind to seek solutions instead of spinning in problems. You've learned to hold faith tighter than fear. You've become emotionally intelligent enough to know that panic doesn't solve anything, but presence does. When you act as if things always work out, your nervous system begins to relax. You heal. You glow. You glow. You attract better, not because you chase it, but because you become it. You'll notice life gets lighter when you drop the belief that you must control everything. You don't. Your power isn't in control, it's in alignment. When you act as if life is working for you, you stop resisting and start receiving. You allow abundance, you welcome love, you make space for opportunities. You stop blocking the flow with worry, fear, and overthinking. And in that space, something beautiful happens. Life begins to work for you, not against you. This mindset will test you in silence. There will be moments when nothing seems to move. No signs, no breakthroughs, just stillness. In those moments, you'll want to quit, but don't. That silence isn't failure, it's calibration. You're being realigned, you're being prepared. Stay in the energy, keep walking as if it's already done. Keep showing up like the outcome is guaranteed, because the only way to lose is to forget who you are. And you, my friend, were born for this transformation. The world doesn't need more people waiting for proof before they believe. It needs more people brave enough to believe before the proof shows up. That's how legacies are built. That's how leaders are born. When you act as if life always works out for you, you're not just changing your story, you're inspiring others to change theirs. You become the proof. You become the evidence that faith is stronger than fear, that belief is more powerful than doubt. That alignment is the real superpower. You will begin to radiate peace in a world addicted to stress. People won't know how to explain it, but they'll feel drawn to you. That's the power of energetic authority. When you move like you are divinely guided, life mirrors that back to you. The right people find you, the right opportunities align, the right timing unfolds. Not because you're chasing, but because you've become the version of yourself who already receives. You're not wishing anymore, you're walking in it. Understand this. You don't need more time, you need more courage to act from your highest self, even when your current self doubts it. That's where transformation happens, in the decision to show up like it's already working, even when your senses say it's not. That's not delusion, that's devotion. And if you can stay devoted to that vision, no matter what, you will arrive at the future that's already waiting for you. So act as if everything always works out for you, not because life is perfect, but because you choose to believe in the perfection of your journey. You choose to trust the process, even when it's messy. You choose to hold the vision, even when you feel blind. That kind of belief changes everything. It turns struggle into strength. It turns waiting into wisdom. And most of all, it turns you into the kind of person who no longer hopes for a better life, but lives it every single day.